Welcome to our webinar today. Today, we're going to be talking about accelerating your dirt reporting. My name is Matthew Abbitt, and I get the chance to lead many of these webinars, which I absolutely love to do because, I get to talk to many of you, and many of you I've met before. So for everyone I've met before, it's great seeing you again. And for everyone I haven't talked to yet, it's great to see you here today. My main job is really responsible for the product, the strategy, the vision, and the direction of our different product teams here. And I'll be walking you through this webinar. And the awesome thing about today is I have another great person with me here, and that's Shane. And Shane, I'll let you introduce yourself here.
Yeah, Shane Mattix, title's technical sales leader, but really I help get a lot of these solutions to market and help clients understand the benefits and what they can come to expect out of the solution. Thank you.
Yeah. And Shane will be helping us walk through and add some commentary as we walk through this webinar presentation today here. So what we always like to do, and I say this in every webinar, and I know some people hear it a lot here, but I'm going to say it again. We always start with one core thing, and that core thing is we've talked to many of our clients here, and we always start with what the problem is, what problem we're seeing that our clients are having, because our roles here at our solutions are to solve those issues that our clients are having. So with dirt reporting, this is an age-old problem that we've seen many clients have, and have talked to many clients about what we see in the industry here. So really the problem we look to solve here around dirt was reporting damages can be a very manual process. So a lot of you capture the data in many different ways. You've got to basically aggregate that data together. You've got to do some type of translation on the data to fit the dirt format, and that data has to then be uploaded into the dirt tool itself. Another core problem that we hear is customers only want to send the damage they want when they want to send them. So every time a damage comes into your process, you don't always, and you're not ready at that point to always send it to dirt immediately. So there needs to be some type of trigger that you can set where then, where you trigger something that sends the data off to dirt here. And so what we're going to be talking about today and focusing on are how did Irth solve these problems for you? And I'll walk you through a synopsis of how we did that here. So from a solution standpoint, again, we try to always work with clients and solve the problems that they have here. Our solution is Irth's dirt integration here. And when you think about Irth's dirt integration, there's really two main components to this here. One is what we call the damage investigation form. And there's many different clients who use damages in many different ways, right? Some of you have your own damage system or have a system where you capture your damage data. That's okay. What you can do is we've given clients the ability to either use CSV or Excel to export it out of your system and import it into the damage investigation form here at our solutions. Or we have the ability to have an API as well, where we open up an API and your existing damage system can call and pass the data to us here. Now, another thing that we see is that we have many clients who don't have a system where they're coming off an Excel spreadsheet or something like that to manage damages, or they want to just use Irth to manage damages, and you can do that as well. You can actually capture and use Irth, for your damage investigation and all of your damage data, right? Determining who's at fault, liability, and all that stuff using Irth. Now, the big thing about that is it's not just a form, right? What we do then is we build a webhook in conjunction working with the CGA here, where we take all of the data that you have in the system and we're translating that data directly to the dirt format and passing that via an API, via a webhook, directly to the CGA here. Okay, so that's one portion of this here. The second portion is also a dirt upload form, right? So what that is we still give you all the ways to get data into Utilisphere like I showed you before, right? So you can, if you have an existing system, you can upload the data, you can pass it in through an API, but there's some clients who still want to do the process of exporting out something and importing that into CJ's dirt here. Now we give you that same ability here, so you can still do that, but what we do in the middle now is we're translating your data into the exact format that dirt needs here, making it very easy to upload into the dirt tool. So when you think about this here, we're working with the CGA, and part of working with the CGA, what are we looking to do here is really reduce the damages and achieve their 15 years goal here. That's our core thing to do. And being able to report on those dirt damages easier, not only saves time for all of you, but also helps the industry achieve these goals. The other big takeaway here is that it's not just the ability for you to manage your data or get your data in. We are translating your data, making it easier, right? Saving you time and your money, and translating it directly to that dirt format and passing it, if you're using the API, in near real time. If you're using the dirt export, then you can choose the time frame you want to do it on here. Okay. Now, from a process standpoint, here's what the process looks like here. So if you have your own data on the left-hand side, you'll see where it says customer data, damage data, right? That's if you have your own data. you can call our API or you can upload the data inside of Earth's platform here, inside of the damage investigation. You can, if you don't have your own tool, you can also use Earth to manage all of your damages here or your damage investigations, and you can actually add the data and directly assign text and so on, right, to actually go figure out how the damage occurred and what happened and who's at fault. All of that information goes into what we call damage investigation, right? So that's houses all the damage data. If you use the API webhook directly to Dirt, we then are taking that damage investigation form data, we're translating it specifically to Dirt format, so that way it can be submitted to Dirt in a near real time, right? And what you can do is you can set triggers of when you want those damages to be sent to Dirt. So if you have a trigger of, let's call it a status, for instance, if a damage investigation is closed, that could be your trigger then to pass that damage to Dirt, and we can do that on a one-by-one individual basis on the data you pass to Dirt here. Now, like I said before, some clients prefer the upload tool. We support that as well. So from the damage investigation, you create a Dirt upload, right? We do that automatically. So you can create this Dirt upload. What that Dirt upload does is it takes your damage data and then translate it into the actual Dirt format that you then can export and upload into the Dirt tool here, the CGA Dirt tool. So if you have a system, perfect, you can still get the data in, use this as a translation side. If you don't have a system to capture damages, you can use this to fully manage your damages. But what we're doing in the middle is we're translating it to Dirt in two ways, right? With the API webhook in near real time, passing it to Dirt in near real time, and then the export where you can choose the frequency of how you want to upload to Dirt here. So from a process standpoint, again, you've got multiple ways to get your data into our system if you already have an existing system. Again, import a CSV or Excel, or you can use the API to pass your damage data into Earth. Or again, you can use this to manage all of your damages in the Earth product. Now, for customers using the Dirt integration, what we do is we configure that webhook to Dirt, and that's what translates all of your formatted damage data into the Dirt format and passes the data in real time. When we set the triggers, we configure the process automation rules, and those process automation rules say, it's based on whatever trigger you want. If status is closed of a damage, then send it to Dirt. And that's an example of a rule, very simplistic one. We can make it more complex than that. But at the end of the day, the data gets passed directly to Dirt via these triggers. Now, again, for customers that want to upload, you can get the data in the same way, but we create a rule to trigger the Dirt upload form. That's a little bit different. The Dirt upload form actually is what translates the damage investigation to the Dirt upload, and then you can export that Dirt upload and import that file into the Dirt format, the CGA Dirt format. Now, one thing I forgot to mention here, and I'm going to stop here for a second, just a matter of point here. You cannot ask questions live. We can't hear each other speaking here. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A and feel free to ask the questions. And what we're going to do is we're going to answer them at the very end as well here. So we'll make sure. And I think I already saw some pop in here, it looks like, which is good here. Now, what I want to do now is show you some of what the damage investigation data looks like. How does this data actually look here, and what does the tool look like? So for customers that have their own damages, like capture their own damages in a different system, the very top screen that you see, that is how you can upload files to create the damages inside of Earth, inside of Utilisphere. So you can just export a file from your existing system. You can come and you can browse out to that file and you can upload it. And once you do that, all of your damages will now be imported into Utilisphere. Or what you can do is you can pass that damage data via Earth's API. So what we have here, there's a bunch of different web methods we support. One of them is what we call create web method. So your existing system can pass the create web method on our side and pass the damage data into Earth, into Utilisphere here. And again, what we do is we translate it before we send it out to Dirt here. Now, in terms of managing the damage investigation, for clients that have data elsewhere and pass it in, you can still use Utilisphere to manage it. Or you can actually, manage it yourself here. So we have a damage investigation form that can match exact data that you want to capture for your damage process, right? And this is an example of that. So you can come in, you can enter the damages directly. You can link them to tickets to see if there's any correlation or if an excavator caused it. You can pick, who's at fault. We can even do custom logic. If there's some liability logic where attorneys become involved, we can program those things in or configure those in here. But you can use this fully to assign employees to work the damages, to document the findings, and at the end of the day, you're closing the damage investigation, or it's going off to legal here. So it's full access to managing your damage investigations. But again, this is the big component here is this right here. What you're seeing is this is the dirt webhook, right? And this is something, that we worked closely with CGA on here. So what happens here is we can configure the triggers that when you want to send out damage data to the CGA. So I keep using a very simplistic rule here. If the status of a damage is closed, then send that to the CGA. This is where we would configure those rules. And again, they can be much more complex. They can have multiple tiers. If a status is closed and it's been closed for X number of days, those are the types of rules that we can end up creating to actually pass that data, the damage data, off to Dirt here. But this is the Dirt webhook where you pass that data directly to Dirt based upon the triggers that you set. Okay, so you don't have to pass everything at one time on a big batch. You can do it one by one individually as they come and as a trigger is met or a rule that is met that you want to send out here. Now, not only do we give clients the ability to pass the damage data via the API to CGA's Dirt, we also give them the ability to create the Dirt upload itself, export out a file that they can upload into Dirt. So this is what that looks like. What you're seeing at the very top here is the Dirt upload tool here. And from the damage investigation or from your damage form, the data you capture on your damages, you can create this dirt upload, and it can happen automatically in Utility. We can set up a rule. And what this form is doing here is translating all of your damage investigation data directly to the Dirt format here. That's what it's doing here. Then once you have all of those set, again, it can happen automatically inside Utilisphere. You can just come down here and export a file. It's a Dirt file here called Dirt upload in the exact format that you need to import it into the Dirt reporting tool here. So if you really want to do more of a batch, you can do more of a batch and still manually export out of Utilisphere and import it into the Dirt tool here. Okay, so I'll let Shane, I'll let you take over from here and go ahead and give us some background on CGA here.
Absolutely. So a little over a year ago, Irth and CGA began a formal partnership on several different fronts. And one of those partnerships was to work through a way to push damages and damage data into the Dirt reporting tool on a real-time basis. So, and one of the benefits that clients can receive is an enhanced reporting capability through CGA. So when you're looking at the Dirt reports from CGA, the more data that can be collected, the better that the CGA and us as operators and software vendors can start to help you analyze ways to prevent damages. And by analyzing that data, that goes twofold in the fact that we can then use that data to predict and look at reducing damages. And really the goal is to get to a 50% reduction in 5 years. And I think we're about 1.5 years under our belt now. And so the goal here is to really start using data. And then last piece is the real-time data. As the data gets sent into their system in real time using the API, now the recommendations can be more relevant in real time rather than looking at that annual look back report that they publish. So in partnering with the CGA, their goals for Dirt was to first start off by making everything real time, allowing them to do enhanced reporting, and partnering with members to reduce damages underground. And an additional benefit from this partnership is before the end of the year, we actually have a program with the CGA where they're publishing all of their training resources for all their members in their own portal. However, part of that agreement was that Irth would take our Utilisphere ticket management platform and put links to those critical resources directly inside of our platform. If you look at the screenshot down there today, you have a link to the training ribbon. Right now, it's Irth-focused content where we've got information about our new mobile app. We've got information about, the ticket summary screens, the search screens, those types of things. But by the end of the year, you could expect to find some of the CGA content in there based upon this content that they're publishing. They're actually right now in the final phases of creating their content. They should be starting to release. Last I knew it was going to be like the end of October to release that content. But once that content's released, you'll actually be able to see that directly in the interface. So again, the biggest benefit of this is real-time Dirt data, better reporting, allows you to better affect and reduce your damages and your misses. But then a second benefit of this partnership is access to the training resources they're going to make available through their membership. And again, all you have to do is be a member of the Utilisphere platform to receive those.
Okay, great. And now let's talk about the value and the return on investment that we see with customers here. We've talked to a lot of clients about this, have a lot using us for dirt reporting here. And the two big ones are obviously the time-based one, right? It takes time for you to manipulate that file now to import it into the dirt system here. You may not have the data normalized and maybe stored in different kind of formats across the board. Even if it's stored in a similar format, you still have to get it into the dirt format then to be able to upload it here. So what we're looking to do here with this, or what we've done with this, is really decrease that time, because now if you have the webhook set up, right, it just translates it on the fly as you hit a trigger, and then it gets reported to dirt. And if you're using the upload tool, it does the same thing, but based upon when you want it to go here. The other thing is the improved compliance aspect, right? Like getting data in them, like Shane was saying, right? Getting the data to them faster, now helps you improve your compliance here. Okay, and now another thing I'll touch on here that they're talked about, that Shane touched on a little bit, is your damage data is also highly important to all of you as well. And I think that's something that we all know, but it can be used in different ways now, right? So when you think about that, if you have your damage data in a system like Utilisphere, not only can we correlate the damages with the actual tickets that occurred, you can actually see if there's a ticket nearby and if that excavation actually caused that damage. But what can happen is we can actually start using that now for you in risk prediction and mitigation models, right? So when you think about that, Irth has an AI model, and we have something called damage risk analysis as well, which is a learning model. In both cases, having your damage data in the system strengthens those models and can help predict when damages occur on new tickets coming in, right? So that's an added benefit of having damage in your system. Once you get all of your damages in one place, especially like a system like ours, where we have the 811 ticket management component to it as well, right? Or that feature functionality. We now can start building models for you that predict when damages are likely to occur on new tickets coming in. So that is a added benefit to having your damages aggregate into a single place, on top of the whole the time savings, for us translating the data, in real time here with Dirt. Now, from a standard app standpoint, what you get with the standard app here is a damage investigation form, the Dirt upload form, we have the Dirt API webhook, the process automation, the exports. And out of this thing, the most important thing is really that Dirt API webhook, right? What that is really doing is acting as that translation service, right? So that's what's getting into the correct format. And then that Dirt upload form is doing the same thing, but if you export the data and import it into CJ's Dirt's tool here. So this package together now produces a very easy way for you to get damages in and then get damages over to Dirt as well from a translation standpoint. Also to manage your damages as well, which is an important factor of this piece. Now that's everything that we have here, and just a few things. So questions are open. Feel free to ask questions. We already have a few. We'll address those here in a second. But the other thing to say here is that you have Shane and my contact information right here. Any questions you have at all, feel free to reach out to us. So our contact information is here. Feel free to reach out to us directly, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Also, don't forget the Irth.com, the little red YouTube channel. We do have a YouTube channel out there now, right? And all of the content that we have on these webinars actually gets put on that YouTube channel. So if you want to share the content we've shown you today, give it a day or two, and this content will actually be up there, and you can pass the URL around to others that may not have been able to attend here. So with that said, we'll go ahead and look at the questions from a Q&A standpoint. We actually have quite a few, which is good. We love the feedback. So question number one: do we have to submit all the damages? It's up to you, right? What I mean by that is, if for the API standpoint, if you're using the API, you can set those triggers that pass the damages in near real time as something happens. So, if you have a particular status you want changed and that triggers a damage to go to CJ's Dirt, you can do that through the API. What you can also do is you could wait and batch them all together using the upload tool, right? So if you wanted them all the damages to go together, you could wait. You could create the export out of Utilisphere and then upload that into CJ's Dirt reporting tool, and then you would have all the damages batched together here. Next question: are the damages submitted at one time, like in a batch? So I actually answered both those questions kind of at one time here as well. Third question here: if we capture different data than is in Dirt, can we use your system to manage the damages and have it translate to Dirt? The question is absolutely yes. So we know, and that's the real big thing about what we build here, the flexibility of this, is that no two clients capture the same exact details on every damage. We've seen a ton of damages now. We have clients using us for damages No two clients capture the same exact data elements on any of those damages form. Some clients use dirt, but it's always a derivative of dirt, a little bit different. Some are very kind of different than the dirt data that it requires here. But what we can do is work with you to get your data elements captured in here, and then we can have, configure that translation service to pass it to dirt, here. So you can absolutely use your own data that you currently capture. All right, next question here. It says, my state requires that I submit damages to their dirt platform. Can you assist with sending those to my state dirt reporting? Shane, do you want to take that one here?
Absolutely. So for states like Pennsylvania, and there's several others that do require a dirt submission through their website, we'll work with you directly to see what capabilities they have. I know that some of them will have their own API that we can use, but some of them, it may just be creating an export specifically for that particular dirt repository. So reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to walk through that with you, walk through that with your reporting agency, and get the right solution.
Yep, yep. And then several other questions here I want to address. So we've got some questions that Shane answered in Q&A. Shane answered them in the Q&A already. But one question here: will you be able to export near miss, not damages, to dirt as well, or is your system only set up for damages? Great question. And when we talk a lot about when we say damages all the time on this, we also can do near misses, right? So we've got many clients that have near miss data in there. They're reporting that from our system to dirt as well. So again, no two clients can have the same exact fields, the same exact data. Some are capturing near misses because they may be more on the transmission side. Some maybe have damages because they're on the utility or the telecom side. But both of those, the near miss process is identical to the damage process, and we do that today here. And then there was a question off that: will this be configurable to trigger based off of a work on? The answer is yes, right? So you can, in process automation, you can configure a rule that then tells you when it gets submitted to dirt. So the answer there is absolutely. Another question. A lot of these questions are very similar, which is fantastic. There's a lot of good questions here. One was, would we be able to add custom fields? The answer is absolutely, right? So we work with you to figure out what fields you capture, get those added in here, and then set up the translation to make sure that it's translated directly into dirt for you guys here. Next question here. Well, this is, by the way, great questions here. There's a lot of them coming in, so this is fantastic. Keep them coming here. Next one. Will we get feedback from the CGA when we submit via Irth API? For example, I track the DQI of our data when we submit. Can I still get the information through Irth? Shane, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so the feedback doesn't come directly from the CGA, but inside the audit history of each one of your damage submissions, you would be able to see where we submitted that through the API and the fact that it went through successfully. Those are all messages that would be logged inside of the audit trail of each individual damage.
Yep. Okay. Now, also, there's a hand up as well. We can't answer your. I don't think you have the ability to actually talk to us if you have your hand up. But feel free to write in the actual Q&A, or you can reach out to us afterwards, and we can talk to you directly here if you need any assistance here. Okay, great. So another question's coming in here. How do we turn on this capability to utilize the Dirt webhook? Shane, do you want to discuss that here?
Yeah, just reach out to your account rep. It's a feature that can be enabled. Reach out to them. It does require an implementation. So it's a project on our end just to make sure that we have all quote unquote I's dotted and T's crossed.
Yeah. Yeah. And to add to that point, I want to be very clear about this, as well, is that our standard format translates directly to Dirt's API. If you have a derivative that or want to add some custom fields as well, we'll have to take a look at that and then make some configuration changes so that it translates that data into CGA's format as well here, right? So that's why we'll have to work with you directly to see, to look at your damage data, see if it's very close to like what we have. We try to create a standard that accomplishes 90% of what you want, 95% of what clients need here. But if there's some changes there, we might have to make some configuration tweaks. But we all know how that works. Damage data is never the same between different companies here. And I think I'm looking through the answers here. I'll give it just another second here. Any other questions coming in here? Okay, I think that's it here. So yeah, really appreciate everyone's time. Appreciate the questions. Great questions. Again, I will say this, if you have any questions, You have Shane and my contact information right here. Feel free to reach out to us. And again, remember this video and the other webinars that we produce are put out on our Irth.com YouTube channel. So go to that channel. Feel free to pass those videos around and watch some of the other content that we've created here. Really appreciate everyone's time. Everyone have a great day. We'll see everyone here.